we're saying. It's good. Okay.
I totally did.
Good evening, everybody. I'll call the meeting to order. Will the clerk call the roll?
Mayor Patricelli,
Present?
Councilman Torncello,
Present.
Councilwoman Diamond.
Present.
Okay, I'll ask you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, I'll ask the minutes of the previous meeting to be read, please.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we dispense with the reading of the minutes of the March 24th meeting.
I'll second that.
Okay, a motion was made and seconded. We'll call the roll, please.
Councilwoman Diamond,
In favor?
Councilman Torncello,
In favor.
Mayor Patricelli.
In favor. Okay, we'll go into reports of officers and committees.
Okay, I think tonight's agenda is pretty lengthy, just to show some of the projects that we're closing from last week's meeting. As for a couple of short things that happened, you know that we had billed Hudson Shores for our alarm services and fees. I know Amanda was probably going to, talk to that a little bit, so I probably just apologize for taking your...
No, go right ahead.
We did have a conversation with them today. We will be receiving that bill within 30 days as of today. They agreed to the validity of it, and maybe that's not the right way to say it, but the fact that we bill other companies within city limits for the exact same issue, they have agreed to pay that bill. So that'll be about $16,300 and something plus or minus. We also are going to work with them along with state fire as to the revamping of their alarm system. Because we don't have a fire safety component within our code enforcement, I've asked Paul to reach out to fire safety statewide and come with us, because that's so far, it's technical, it's life-saving, and I think we should have the state code departments here with us to do that. Again, tonight is a lengthy agenda because we have so many projects going. I know we're also working on Hudson Shores ramp. I just had a conversation with them at 4:30 this evening. We have 3 designs currently that they need to work through the complexities of those. It'll be 2 ramps coming off our piers, a private ramp for the boat company, and then a public ramp for people within the city of Watervliet. We're getting final designs. We should have them by the middle of next week, which I'd like to present to the council at the next meeting, so you can see what that portion of Hudson Shores Park is going to be like. And with that, I think I'll close on that. I know, like I said, we have a number of items regarding some of the projects too.
Joe, with those 2 ramps, when the ramps are installed, will that be something that will be, or the design and we go forward, is that still something that we're able to work with the boat company?
We're still able to work with, I asked a question similar to that. I know the boat company needs to have them going very quickly, and I asked them to come back with some type of alternative to do temporary with it. It's all based on the ownership of those piers that they're trying to work with the Canal Corp on, and if they could find that, they could...
Corps of Engineers.
The Corps of Engineers, the Army Corps of Engineers. Then if they could find the ownership, then we could work on it that way.
Okay.
So we're trying to figure some alternative as well.
And just on top of that, the other docks, kayak docks, are going in on Tuesday.
They're going in Tuesday, 7:30, so if you don't have anything going on, come down and see what that's going to look like. I'm sure this won't be the first time. Yes. Bring a raft and we'll have you out on the water.
That's Tuesday.
Sounds good.
Okay. Great, thanks, Joe. We'll go into old business, please,
Your Honor, there is no old business on this evening's agenda.
and then we'll move into new business then.
The first order of business, new business this evening, is resolution number 29 for 2022. This is a resolution approving the appointment of Matthew Beeble to the City of Watervliet Tree Committee.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion we move on resolution number 29 for 2022.
I will second it.
Matt's, this is a renewal of Matt's term.
That is correct.
So Matt's already
Okay.
Matt's already on the tree committee. This is just getting all those terms in line.
Right.
So this is a renewal.
Okay.
So, any other questions?
Nope.
All right, call the roll.
Councilwoman Diamond,
In favor?
Councilman Torncello,
In favor.
Mayor Patricelli.
In favor.
Resolution number 30 for 2022 is a resolution awarding a contract for the Watervliet Tree water treatment plant SCADA improvements project at the Watervliet filtration plant, and authorizing Mayor Charles B. Petroselli to execute all required documents regarding same.
Mayor, I will make a motion that we move on resolution number 30 for 2022.
And I will second that.
Okay, good. So this one is part of the water filtration plant upgrades. We went out to bid under Barton and LaJudas, the engineering firm who is assisting in the design of the new SCADA system. We only had one contractor bid for it. Barton LaJudas assured us that this is not untypical of this process. They were hoping for two. We have one. The company that was awarded the contract tonight is General Controls, a very good company. And before you tonight is the contract for no more to exceed $205,400.
You're all aware what the SCADA system does,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And with that, we're also going to be having 4 tablets, which we don't have currently. We're going to get 4 tablets which are mobile, so all of our guys will have the tablets with them at home. So should we have any event that happens, if somebody's off, we'll certainly have multiple people looking at it.
That's good. That's great.
Okay. Great, thank you. Call the roll?
Councilwoman Diamond?
In favor?
Councilman Torricella?
In favor.
Mayor Petroselli?
In favor.
Resolution number 31 for 2022 is a resolution awarding a contract for tree and stump removal to C&D Stump and Tree Removal LLC at the water filtration plant at 222 Watervliet Shaker Road, and authorizing Mayor Charles B. Petroselli to execute all required documents regarding same.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we move on resolution number 3122.
And I will second it.
So this project is a offshoot of the one we approved a couple of weeks ago for the fencing, for the security fencing. This is with the filtration upgrades as well, that we have to take down a number of trees in order to put that security fencing in. And also to make way for the new generator that we were currently waiting to come and arrive to us. But we need to put some new electric underground, so some trees have to be moved. And the new generator has a wider expansion pad for that. So that's what this is for the water plant.
Are those trees the ones that you can see from the road?
No, I made sure
Oh,
that they
okay.
stayed.
Yeah.
These are all some of the hardwoods just directly behind that. There are 6 along the driveway, Councilwoman, that goes there. And that's all underneath the power poles, which we have to abandon. So it's a multiple, things that are happening here. But those other trees are going to stay. It's a
Oh,
nice
okay.
buffer.
Because they look
behind
nice,
us.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe, does our generator currently work?
The generator does have, yes, it's currently working.
Okay.
Yeah, they primed it. I know they had a couple of problems back in early 2020 for one of the tests. This is a brand new one. It's actually a little bit bigger.
So didn't we lose power the other, like a few weeks ago? Did we hit, and that affected some of the?
It did trip. I believe Danny Mittinger actually went up and got the generator running afterwards. But I thought it was for a short period of time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. The other item on that too is the monitoring. Previously, when I was at council, we had the system up at we installed the one up here.
Off at Deborah?
No,
The service
no,
reservoir?
the one up on Wiswall.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the one here, and I don't believe we have a monitoring on that, and that should be let's say an item included in with the generator.
Okay.
Or whatever. The generator will tell you it's running. The generator will tell you, or the internet, you have it,
Right.
it comes on your phone, tell you if it's running, it'll tell you if it's exercising, it'll tell you anything at all that happens to that generator as in real time. So if the generator is supposed to go on, if the generator goes on like right now and you get a call, you know that there's a power failure. So that tells you a host of different things, what you may have to do from there. Or it'll tell you that the generator was supposed to go on and it failed.
Yeah.
So I really do believe it's worth the investment to check on that.
Yeah, I'll check into that, Mayor. That sounds...
Well, it was supposed to be
backup.
checked into the one on Wiswall a while ago, and it hasn't happened. Okay, anything else? We'll call the roll.
Councilwoman Diamond?
In favor?
Excuse me. Councilman Torricella?
In favor.
Mayor Patricella?
In favor.
Resolution number 32 for 2022 is a resolution approving an agreement between the City of Watervliet and Weston and Sampson, PELS-LA PC, regarding the water and sewer administration for 2022, task order number 232.
Mayor, I will make a motion that we move on resolution number 32 for 2022.
And I'll second that.
Good.
And this one is just coming across the contract we had with Weston and Sampson, specifically for the water and sewer. Weston and Sampson is currently involved with our water filtration upgrades and our combined sewer outflow separation. So noticing that their contract actually expired early January, it's before you tonight to expand to 2022 to complete those projects.
Okay.
All right.
No questions, call the roll.
No questions.
Councilwoman Diamond?
In favor?
Councilman Torricella?
In favor.
Mayor Patricella?
In favor.
Resolution number 33 for 2022 is a resolution approving the purchase of two 2022 Chevrolet Silverado 3500s with dump service body, Western plow, and Salter from Denoyer Chevrolet.
I'll make a motion, we move on resolution number 33 for 2022.
And I will second it.
So these are two new trucks specifically for the DPW. They're smaller dump trucks, which we currently don't have in our fleet. They're 4-yard boxes. What we have is we have the large trucks, and when winter comes, we don't have one that doesn't have a salt box on it in order to have water breaks or anything else or other supplementary. We got these two smaller ones, so they're utility. For summer months, we could use it for lawn maintenance and things like that. We could add grass to it. We could dump them. So this one's an expansion of the fleet. The two went through OGS bidding process, and Maine Motor Car was the only other bidder for this. And this one was the lowest bidder of the $139,396, which saved us about $1,600.
And this increases our fleet by how many?
We'll be +2 at this point.
At this time, plus
At this
two.
point, yes.
Does that bring us up to like where we should be? Like with plow trucks and pickups and,
It certainly has
Our
increased
trucks.
our plow trucks.
We have
With, you know,
increased
we
number
put-
of plow trucks that we
Right.
had.
Yeah, this is the most I think we've had.
Yeah, and I believe even the trucks that we had weren't able to have a plow on
Yes,
them.
yes.
So it does,
We've had a couple of pickup trucks that were like two-wheelers, not the four-wheel drive, or the heavy enough to put a plow on them.
oh,
Right.
right,
So this
yes, I
has-
remember that,
yeah.
right.
This puts us in the right position for future.
Okay. No, that's great.
Good.
That's good.
Okay. Call the roll, please.
Councilwoman Diamond?
In favor?
Councilman Torricella?
In favor.
Mayor Patricella?
In favor.
Resolution number 34 for 2022 is a resolution to amend the agreement for the concrete pad and infrastructure for the spray pool, splash pad, and authorizing Mayor Charles V. Patricelli to execute all required documents regarding same.
Mayor, I will make a motion that we move on resolution number 34 for 2022.
And I will second that.
So these are, change order 1 came about with new change in code as to bonding. And that's whenever you have a water systems like we're currently building here, you have to ground them, and that's the bonding component to that. So we actually had to expand the grid that was initially designed by Weston and Sampson. And fortunately enough, it was caught by the contractor to say that they were reviewing the code, and they said that they needed to put double bonding agents on various piping that was already in the ground. So this brings us up to code, which again wasn't there in the original design. That's change order number 1 for the 773969. Change order number 2,
7,700?
7700, yes, $7,739.69. And it's in the resolution broken out for you. Change order number 2, and this is why I was very adamant about making sure we get as-bills, so when we know exactly what happens. As we were doing some abandonment over at the pool, we found a live wire that was there, empty. Not empty, it was not connected to something. So we thought it was originally a pump to the original spray pool that we had. They found that that wasn't. So we actually had to abandon a wire. This was pretty costly. It was $31,378.99. But it could not stay. And again, based on code, based on the contractor,
Safety.
it was a major safety issue.
Yeah.
So this is the unfortunate change order that came about us. Excuse me, for $31,378.99. Change in order number 3, I think, is more cosmetics, but it was certainly needed as well. We had new concrete going around the pool, the coping area of the pool. Then we had a 5-foot section that was cracking, flaking, and then we'd have the new concrete. So this was to rip out that existing pad of 5 feet by the entire width and put in new concrete to make it a seamless pour all the way to the original. So that was more cosmetic.
Okay, that's good.
And that's $11,426.40. Total cost of the upgrades for this is $50,545.08.
Okay.
How do they abandon a wire? I'm just curious.
We actually had to have National Grid come in, terminate the wire. We actually, during the course of that, we did away with one wire that was going to the pool light. It could have been kept, but unfortunately, there was a broken piece of conduit where wires were exposed, and the contractor was going to sleeve it, and I just asked them to abandon that all the way back to the box and get rid of it because we didn't need the light in the pool at all with that. I was more concerned about what else we might have found down the road if it was spliced, taped, or whatever.
Yeah.
So seeing we exposed that one wire, I just made the decision just to abandon it
Yeah.
and get rid of it for safety's sake.
Usually it's cutting corners or a lack of inspections.
Oh,
So,
okay.
that's what happens.
Or does the break in the conduit mean that weather gets to it and stuff like that happens? and all
It's a
that?
vulnerable
Yeah, right.
area.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But we've been
I
out
mean,
there.
that's common in some spec,
Right.
because the ground settles and stuff like that, but I mean, most likely if it was left there, and it shouldn't have been left there,
Yeah.
it was just,
Yeah, we're out there
You
just
know.
about every day with the contractors.
Just
and
to
they're
save
doing
a
good
buck.
job.
just.
Well, yeah, but they save a buck, and that, whatever administration that was, saves a buck.
Administration may not even have known it.
No, not
Yeah,
even know.
You know,
exactly.
they may not even
You're
have
right.
known it, you know, I mean, that's
Right,
a lot of times that's what happens.
Right.
You know, that's why,
You don't know.
no matter what contractor is, I don't care who it is, you gotta watch them like a hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Who knew there was a light in the pool?
What? Okay.
Yeah, there was a light in the pool, I didn't know that.
I don't remember that.
I don't
Yeah,
remember,
there's-
I don't
there's
remember a
there's
light in the pool.
Yeah, there's a box right there. There's a cylinder box, and there was a light, I guess, at one point in time there.
Oh,
Good.
Okay. Any other questions?
nope.
Call the roll, please.
Councilwoman Diamond,
In favor?
Councilman Torricella,
In favor.
Mayor Patricella.
In favor.
Resolution number 35 for 2022 is a resolution adopting and approving ambulance billing rates for the year 2022 and 2023.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion, we move on resolution number 35 for 2022.
And I will second that.
Okay, this one, Chief Garrett came to us asking to increase the rates for the services that they provide, basic life support, advanced life support, and advanced life support 2. Increasing the rates from the last time they did it, which was 2019. And also included in the rate adjustment would be for mileage. So you have before you the rates that were recommended by Chief Garrett, and that mirrors municipalities around the city of Watervliet as well.
Good.
Okay, nothing else? Call the roll, please. Right?
Councilwoman Diamond,
In favor?
Councilman Torricella,
In favor.
Mayor Patricella.
In favor.
Final order of business this evening on the new business for the agenda is resolution number 36 for 2022. This is a resolution approving the execution and delivery of the certain stipulation and order of settlement for the settlement of certain RPTL Article 7 proceedings commenced by the City of Watervliet against the Town of Guilderland.
Mayor, I will make a motion that we move on resolution number 36 for 2022.
And I'll second that. What happened? Oh,
So,
am I stealing your thunder?
No, oh no, I'm waiting.
so this is my understanding of what happened. happened, the trial started. Prior to the start of the trial, there had been an offer made by the city to the town to resolve the matter.
Make sure you talk up,
Okay.
there's no mics.
All right, so prior to the trial, the city had made an offer to resolve the matter. The town had not responded to that offer. The trial started, testimony was taken, and during the midst of the trial, the town basically said we'd be willing to take the offer now.
Okay.
The trial was then put on hold so that we could come back to you, talk to you about the possible resolution of the matter, ultimately settle it if you're in agreement, and forego the need to finish the trial. So the terms are relatively straightforward. There's going to be reduction in the assessed value from 17.5 million or thereabouts to 6 million for the 2019 tax year, I want to say. Yes, then 5,000 for the following year and
5 million.
5 million, and then 4 million.
654.
Correct. And then pursuant to law, it remains at 4 million for at least 3 years.
Okay.
And after 3 years, can they just arbitrarily up it again, or they just wouldn't do that after this whole process, do you think?
Well, I would say they can't arbitrarily up it, but they certainly can increase it if they
Right.
believe, if they do an assessment, they can certainly bring it back up somewhere, and we may be right back where we are today.
So we've paid, right?
Right.
Have we?
So,
Heavily,
We've paid in 19, 20, and 21, correct?
correct.
And do you have, again, a ballpark figure what we paid in each of those years?
364,000 for just this past tax year. 358,000 for the year before that. And 352,000 the year before that.
But they weren't all based on 17 million.
They were.
They were, all
They were
three,
based-
all-
It used
they
to
are
be-
based on
but all three of those were based on 17 million.
It used to be about $80,000, which is where it's going to go back to.
Well,
Okay,
but
so-
that was at 2 million though, right? That was at,
Yes,
our
I'm sorry.
assessment was around 2 million previously in 2018.
So you
2
have,
million something,
Yeah.
yeah.
so you have a ballpark figure in your head about what we're going to get returned, correct? But do you want to
Yes.
say it or no?
Oh, yeah, it's a
good-
it's a real number.
It's a real number, and it's a good number, right?
We believe so.
You don't like doing this, right? 'Cause-
Well, it's
Is it over or under?
well, so I put Amanda in a tough spot because I only asked her after the meeting started as to what the refunds might be.
Oh, okay.
So I apologize.
$760,000-ish.
That's ish.
Yeah.
We're not going to
That's
hold
ish,
anybody
right,
to
that's
that,
okay.
but that's a great number.
No, that is what we're getting.
No, that's,
That is what we're holding them to.
no, of course, I'm
Yeah.
not holding Amanda
Oh, no,
exactly to the
well,
penny.
Amanda,
Right.
you mean.
I'm not
Okay,
holding
yeah.
Amanda to the
Yeah.
penny, I'm holding Gilliland to the penny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
we
that's
we figured at some point in time it was around $800,000 in
Yeah.
overpayments.
Wow.
Right, that's a ballpark number.
Yes.
And then that also included the possible interest, which according to the agreement, there is no interest based on that unless they fail to pay within the 60 days. Is that part?
That's what the stipulation.
That's part of
says.
it. That's part of the
And also
contract.
understand that when on tax cert cases, the interest rate is minuscule. You don't get the typical 9% judgment rate.
Okay.
So they,
I'll
so,
take anything I can get.
About 700,
yeah, right.
700,000.
So 60 days, they have to pay within 60 days?
They have to pay within 60 days, both them, the city and the school, or the town and the school.
And
Is
the
there-
county. And the county.
And is there another date set?
Not the county,
Or-
is exempt.
Oh, really? Because the stipulation says the county.
I don't think we paid any county tax.
Okay. Then we
Right.
won't get a refund.
Okay.
So we're just going to sign the stipulations and
So if
get them
you,
approved by the court?
So if you pass this resolution tonight, that will authorize Paul Goldman to sign the stipulation on behalf of the city. It'll be submitted to the court, signed off, and we'll be done.
Great.
Oh my God, that's huge.
Yeah.
Hurry up and pass the resolution.
Huh?
So
Well-
hurry up and pass the resolution.
Yeah, I mean, again, it was, we had made this, had this discussion before, when they were actually at court, and that the fact is that they waited, to
let's say the witching hour.
They pulled your foot at the.
You know, so,
your feet
which
to the
is-
fire.
Which is what, but the offer was there, we made the offer before, so this was an offer that we agreed to, so I didn't see it as being a big issue.
Well, it ends it, and we get a lot of money back, and it's
Right.
really,
If we postponed it and we wanted to go to a little bit better of a deal, which we may have been able to get a little bit if the judge so fitting, but it's all up, it's a rolling of the dice. We would have had to pay the taxes for 2022. Now the
Which was
2000,
already budgeted.
right, but we would have had to pay it, now we don't have to pay that.
right.
We don't have to pay that.
Was it budgeted at 17 million?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So that saves that much more money in the budget.
That's
So-
gonna build Dave's garage.
Good,
Yeah,
that's great.
42 car garage.
Yeah, right.
I think it's up to that.
He's getting there.
Okay, all right, if there's no other questions, I think we probably have all agreed that this is what we agreed to, in previous discussions with
Yes.
the town.
Oh,
And like you say, it settles it, and I'm glad to see this behind us as well.
absolutely.
So, all right, if there's no other questions, we'll call the roll.
Councilwoman Dodd.
In favor?
Councilman Torncello.
In favor.
Mayor Petroselli.
In favor.
Your Honor, that concludes the new business on this evening's agenda.
Okay. Okay, we'll go to appropriations and accounting.
In front of the council, you will see just a quick analysis of the ambulance, the costs associated with the ambulance for the past 2 years and projections for 2022 using 5% increase from 2021's numbers. Feel free to look at it, ask me questions next time, email me, whatever. I just wanted to make sure that you had that. As we had discussed the need for a new ambulance. And they're about 2 years out to order them. So if it's something that the council wants to do, it would probably be a good time to do it.
They're 2 years out in ambulances?
Yeah.
Wow. Holy cow.
And according to the chief, the numbers start to go up and up every quarter. We're waiting, that number, what is it, it's about 250 now?
280 with the lift that.
Yeah, that they're looking for, so.
Yeah.
So you're claiming, Amanda, based upon this analysis, that we're in the plus of 290,000?
Correct.
Yeah,
So
expense.
I had this discussion with Joe, so I wanted to say this to you as well. The staffing was the same prior to us having the ambulance. So I did not put any per day cost of employees into the ambulance because that's how many folks were in the fire department anyway. So it's adding a service of having the ambulance. I did add recalls that were specific to the ambulance and comp time. So if a firefighter works the ambulance, if they work for the full 24-hour shift, they get 2 hours of comp time for that. So what I did was I took every single employee, I had actually, Chris helped me, she ran some reports that gave me how much comp time each specific firefighter got for 20 and 2021. And I took their salary and just multiplied the hours times their salary, came up with a number, that's what's there. And I added an average of retirement and also just the normal FICA, 7.65, I think.
Quick question for you, on depreciation,
Yep, I quoted that because we don't really count depreciation.
I get that. So in looking at it from this angle, the $46,000 that you have allocated for 2022,
That has the 10-year of the $280,000 plus the $18,000 for the current ambulance.
say
Say that again?
So we're projecting, it probably doesn't need to be there in all reality because we're not going to have it in 2022. But, so there's the 18,621, which is the 186, 126 divided by 10, as ambulances are, their life is about 10 years. And then in addition to that 18,6, I took the 280 divided by 10.
Okay. I'll have to sleep on that one. But that, actually, that in the sense of the depreciation, that also shows an expense that we're putting toward it, but that should actually be almost a revenue for the next one.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
It's almost like isn't it almost like an offsetting revenue for the next one?
It could be. So we don't record it.
Right.
So it could be, yeah.
Okay. But based upon the number you're talking about here on the 290,
Yeah.
see that's what I'm trying to
Yeah,
get
I mean, yeah, if you could add that 20,000
Because-
to the 290 and now you're at,
to. Right.
320.
Right. Okay. I get it. Okay. So what's coming before us is whether or not we're going to proceed with a purchase of an ambulance.
Yes.
That's what
Yes.
you're getting at here.
Correct.
Right? That's what,
Correct.
Yeah, that's what you want. Which I think has been
Been asked for a few months now.
every day. Every day.
In fairness, he is trying to protect us from the quarterly increases that Joe was
Yeah.
just talking about. So
Okay.
there is a reason for it.
Okay. And how would you fund that?
Well, we'd have 2 years while it's being built.
Correct.
To put set-asides. And then at that last year, we'd have to figure out the balance from that point,
Yep.
shifting cash or whatever it's going to be. We'll also be selling the 2009, albeit not a whole lot.
Right.
We'll keep this one in our fleet, but getting a new one as well.
Because this 290 right now that you're talking about in here is basically already built in the budget's, fire
Yes,
department's
yes,
budget.
yes.
So it's not looked at as say, oh, we got 290,000 to spend, to be able to say, okay, we got enough money 2 years from now to say we're going to buy, enough for the ambulance.
Understood.
Right,
Correct.
okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't want that to be looked at as saying, no, you got this
That would
flush.
make-
Not a
No,
windfall.
Yeah, it's not a windfall for it,
$300,000.
it's all part of the
Correct.
total operation of the
Right,
whole department.
We were
But-
talking, putting a number aside for the next two budget cycles and then what our shortfall.
And what's an ambulance calling for?
280 you said it was?
About
Yeah, about
280.
280,000.
Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right, thanks, Emmy. All right, there's a few things that we'd like to discuss over the, couple of things. Joe, at this time, should we be talking a little bit about the upcoming letter that we might have to send out to the residents?
Yeah, that's what I wanted, yes, yes. So, what had happened on Friday morning of last week, you all took a tour of the water filtration plant. And at the very end of the wells, you remember those tall tanks, and then as you step down. Those are our PAC wells, and that's PAC for
Aluminum chloride.
thank you. She helps me every time with that. So it's PAC. And what that chemical does is, it gets put into our raw water, and if you ever see the fuzzies, if you remember the fuzzies with our tour, it actually connects to the impurities within the water that coagulates, and then those things drop down to the bottom of the wells, and it helps clarify or purify the water as it continues to go through our systems. There's an alarm system on the pump itself if it's not getting enough of the chemical to go into the water. We had a hose give way right after the PAC pump, after the alarm. And what it is, it's a hose, let's say it's a 1/2-inch hose that goes into a 3/4-inch hose. But there's no fastener or anything to do it. So with a surge, that hose pulled itself out and spewed the water onto the flooring of the filtration system. No alarm went off, and it wasn't noticed until 5:30 when JP Maston came into the system, or into the filtration plant that morning. He called me shortly after that, that morning and told me how we connected it. I was up there, we looked at it. We were monitoring, you know, the SCADA system currently. We were watching where our turbidity was, because that's what was happening. We weren't filtering the water to clear it up or to purify it, so we had that cloudiness. That then made its way through our system, and it started to filtrate into the raw water, or the drinking water. We were watching the numbers all day, and we didn't contact Department of Health until Monday morning, when that number, which was supposed to be, I think it was a .05, came up to a .1.0, which was actually higher than it had to be. So with that, on Monday, we were in conversations with Albany County Department of Health. We were on conversations with them on Tuesday. We did exactly what we were told to do during the course of that, to try to see if that helped maintain that number or reduce that number and not cause any issues going out to the city. Dave came back, what was it, that Monday, and we began conversations with Albany County Health. Tuesday came and they said we should alert your neighbors or your residents within that. We quickly developed a letter, and Department of Health reviewed it and approved it, and it's sitting and waiting to be released because we're looking at ways. They are clearly telling us it has to be sent to the property owner, and any way that we can notify it would be via website posting. We're also looking at a mass merger or mass mailing to the city residents so everyone gets it. But right now, Department of Health is saying it is not considered a Class 2 violation where there's a concern, but they're still monitoring it and go from there. You were each sent that letter today by Dave, and if we have any questions, we certainly can do, you know, a conference call with Dave as well during the course of the week. But it explains what the residents should do, should there be any concern, and what the steps are that the city is taking.
Okay, so what's the status of the water now?
Right.
The status of the water now, it's back to where it should be,
Okay.
and we have been flushing our lines with it. There will be testing, trying to think, today is Thursday, they'll be testing tomorrow. They'll be testing again twice next week.
All right, how long was it out of whack?
It was out of whack for that period of, no,
No.
like within hours.
No,
It's only
no, I
within
know,
hours.
but the problem was created, and then from that time until the water became whatever.
Well, in the interim, what we were doing that day, like I said, I was on site right
Right.
shortly thereafter. They started flushing wells,
Okay.
the wells, you know, going
Right.
forward, to get any issues out before it went to the clear wells and made its way through our systems. So they were flushing, cleansing, bringing that one back online, taking the next one down. So
Okay.
we did, you know, exactly what Department of Health said.
All right. So the drinking water that the residents were drinking was,
No, it wasn't harmed at all.
It wasn't harmed at all?
No,
It was
because
safe?
we caught it at
Okay.
before
That's the
it went into.
so my next question is, can there be something, a repositioning of the alarm, or a repositioning of
Well,
the
that,
hardware there to make sure that this doesn't happen again, that it
Yeah.
gets caught before it gets to this?
exactly. So what we did that afternoon, with plumbing fixtures, there's like what they call like a V-ring or whatever you want to call that. It's a tapered ring which goes into
Right.
the larger part and clamping it down. Like I said, this was free. It was this,
Okay.
and it could be pulled out at any point in time. We actually, on the hose itself, put that V-ring in, and you typically see that in all PVC types of plumbing that you would do underneath your sink. We did that in there, and we tightened it down, so now it's in a fixed. It won't move by pressure or
Are
whatever.
there other areas in that system where you're going to need to do the same thing?
We've been talking about looking that entire system in, but this is where the pack goes into the actual clear wells.
All right.
So I don't want to say we're 100% certain. We're very certain this is the only exposure that we have,
Okay.
you know, with it. Because like I said, you would have never heard that alarm unless JP did not do the morning route in the mornings and saw all the water that was there.
So that seems to be a problem. Seems to be a problem that the alarm didn't go off, that you needed a human who happened to be there that morning to see it. Somehow an alarm should have triggered on somebody's phone, or you said we're getting tablets or something like that.
Yeah.
So that
Well,
should be caught.
Isn't that
fast.
part of the SCADA system?
No,
That
but
you're-
The alarm I think you're alluding to is the alarm only if the pack doesn't make it from the tanks into our system.
All right.
This was after the alarm, and I think it was really a plumbing fixture that we hopefully would have solved, you know. But again, if that were to happen, there still would be no way to alarm that, I would think, because I don't know how you would see. Of course, the turbidity numbers.
Is somebody at the plant every single day?
Every single day from 6 to 2.
Okay.
And then
Monday, 7 days a
through
week?
Friday. Well, 7 days a week, because they are there a couple hours on Saturday
Right.
and Sunday. So,
Okay.
we have to look at it.
Did we know that there was a small hose that was inside a big hose, but there was nothing clamping it down?
If you would look at it, I guess you could say there might have been cause for that understanding. When you saw what had happened, you would immediately, know.
You can figure out what the problem is.
Right, a quick remedy to it.
All right.
So I think we hopefully, I'm, like I say, I'm certain that we've at least addressed it. Now it's a matter of continually monitoring it, and just testing that hose.
And I not suggest, I think it should be required. You got to go through that whole system to make sure there's not the same problem all over the place.
Yeah, I would agree. And I know there's a number of upgrades coming with this filtration upgrade.
Yeah.
And we certainly let Weston and Sampson know too, of course, of the design.
All right. Good. Thank you.
It does say in the letter that it happened on March 23rd, and that was a couple of weeks ago, so, like,
I think we had a conversation last week or something like that.
you had mentioned
We mentioned it,
something
yeah.
to
You
us.
had
I
mentioned
think.
it was still
Yeah.
ongoing, you're still
Yeah.
trying to, yeah, okay,
Right.
all right. Thank you. I'm okay, I'm good.
Okay, good. Well, I'm sure it'll, once the letter goes out, it'll generate more questions, but I think it's,
We are looking at that mass mailing through the vendor you told us.
Yep.
And he's got it down to where hopefully we can go just in the 12189 city proper and not go to the outskirts,
okay.
where like, in
Lake
Latham
Tom,
area.
Oh, right,
Lake Tom,
yes.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, Joe, if you looked at the trays, you could probably pick out the addresses that you
I would hope so.
You don't
Right.
know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty obvious to an eye.
Yeah.
So I can certainly help you with that. It's,
Okay.
That's, and once you see something like Swatling Road, even though it's, you know it's not in there.
Right.
The next item I wanted to bring up, because there's been a lot of commotion about the old Morelli store.
Yes.
And the problems that we had with that. There was a number of comments that, that the city wasn't acting on the store and, or the falling bricks and the deterioration of that.
Yeah.
And I know we've been, working on that for a while. I invited all the people that were, making the comments, some of the comments, to come tonight to be able to hear some of the questions or some of the things, and especially in the sense of the timeline. So, do you have something quick on that? I mean, I know we've been in contact we're trying to get in contact with the owner.
Yes. Yeah, we've made several attempts to be in contact with the owner. They've had 3 violations put upon that house. One most recent one is the crumbling of the brick and the deterioration of the exterior brick, because it's a 2-bricking exterior wall. We also brought Weston and Sampson in. I just want to make sure I got my dates in my head. We brought Weston and Sampson in on Friday. Jeff Boudreau gave us a inspection report as of Tuesday, and that was being forwarded to the property owner to give a 30-day notice to repair. If not, we then send it to our vacant and zombie attorney in Whiteman, Osterman, and Hannah to see the next steps the city could take either possession of, do the work, and how we go forward. So I just want to make sure we're in the legal perspective before we do any work with it.
Unfortunately, I think that the legal steps frustrates a lot of people.
It'll be timely.
because it's got to be something that is that everybody wants it done today.
Right.
And even though you might not have the authority to do something today, you got to go through the legal steps
Yeah.
to be able to accomplish that. And
And I should
unfortunately,
say-
there's not much. Our hands are tied as well.
Yeah.
To do it.
I should say the report did tell us that the exterior wall was the issue. There's some roofing issues that we could not get up because we safely couldn't get into it, but the foundation appeared to be secure enough, safe enough. So it's not one where the building should come down, but I don't think it's gonna be that the homeowner has the wherewithal to fix this. So that's gonna be our concern.
But we have not had contact yet with the owner,
No contact at all.
so the owner's been MIA.
Without denying anybody due process or anything like that, are there things that can be done to the code to strengthen the city's position on places like this? I mean, in other words, do other communities have stronger codes, more, you can punish somebody more severely, you can act quicker?
I mean, so we've, for a while now, been undergoing a review of a lot of the building-related codes. But the real problem is because of due process concerns, because of, and just putting aside not addressing this particular issue, but general issues,
Right.
Locating owners, making sure they get served, things like that. It's difficult.
Right.
I'd have to take a better look at the Watervliet City Code, but there's no great fix to these problems, and communities throughout the state are suffering the same issues.
Okay. Well, I know the building code is something that we've been trying to push forward, so that's something that we really need to keep moving on. Venmo. We talked about doing some more either Venmo, but online payments of some sort for some of the things that we talked about before. And I know that there's been a little bit of discussion on it. Where do we stand on doing the simple things?
So it's never just simple. I'm sure we're all familiar with that. I've been working with Edmunds to set up a payment portal. I've been in discussions with the department heads to ask them what they would like on this portal. The problem is a lot of things require more than just a payment portal gives you. For example, dog licenses. You need to fill out paperwork. We need to make sure you've got your rabies shot. You need to make sure that you're paying the correct amount. I can set up different payment amounts, but if the resident clicks on the wrong one, that's a problem. In addition to that, we just recently had someone pay for something on a credit card and then claim fraud. So now
That was one of our towing.
one of the tows
Yeah.
is $300.
Which is something common in the industry. I get that part. I've seen that happen before. I think the thing is that we can go online and do a registration for DMV. I know we're not DMV, but I know we can do a DMV online certificate. You register your car, you fill it all out. I know some of the things is you might have to give we can do certain things by email. They can email you the rabies shit paperwork. They can email you, that's how sophisticated some of the programs either are or the individuals are themselves, how they do it. Maybe they don't have a scanner, but they can do it on their, phone or something of that nature. But it can be done.
We also looked at, there's another version of the city clerk software, which will allow for dogs to be paid for online.
It was $1,800
$1,800
a year,
A year.
which is
for that.
insane
Well, not for the 60 dogs that we get licensed.
at $13 a pop.
136.
136, I'm sorry, I forgot that number. I didn't know it was growing so fast.
We have that many dogs in the city? 130?
I know I'm on video here.
I know.
But I think one of the, some of the things we want to offer for that, we could potentially pay pool passes, that's simple enough. Even the bulk, if someone was to pay on it for a bulk pickup and select a day, we don't know if that day is going to be closed. So I think there's the nuances on how we do things, that we have too many or whatever, or someone's anticipating something, or signs up that day when our guys are already out and gone, and then, we got those.
Then they're like, why didn't you pick up my stuff?
Right, why
Because
didn't you
we didn't know we were
do my
supposed
stuff?
to.
I think we have to just honestly take the time to look at it as we start to inch into the online payments.
Okay, I don't have a problem with taking the time,
Yeah,
just how much time,
yeah.
okay? Because you know how patient I am.
I started this truthfully during the snow choke process.
Right, okay.
Because I worked those 2 days, those lovely weekend days.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to, and we needed to come up with a different way to do that. So I had reached out to Edmonds at that point for something like that. And at that time, that's when I was emailing all of the department heads to kind of
Right.
get their feedback on it. So it is something that we're definitely moving toward.
Probably don't have to reinvent the wheel. I mean, other communities must do it, right? I mean, what does Cohoes do? What does Colony do? What does Guilderland do? They must have some level of online payments, right?
Some do. Troy does, I believe.
Troy
Troy
does.
has something. I don't know what the Troy
I
does.
mean,
And a lot of them, we
The
have
answer might be
it
it's
too.
too expensive or something
We have
like
it
that.
too with the taxes. I mean,
Yeah,
you
but
can,
absolutely,
you
with
pay
our
taxes,
tax bills
right?
and our water
Yeah.
bills, and
Yeah.
as I think I sent it an email that I
Yes.
explained if someone doesn't pay those or they claim fraud on that, that's totally fine. I'll just relevy it.
Mhm.
But if someone claims fraud on a $13 dog license, are we really, what's our recourse? What's our,
well, our recourse is just like any other vendor, I guess. But, you know,
we're not just any other vendor though, that's the problem.
well, we are.
Can you limit it to something
We're
like
not,
Venmo
we're-
or PayPal and not, and say credit card, forget the credit card, you can't do that, that would, I don't know how, if you can do that. I don't even know if that matters.
With the new system, we were trying to get away from having 6 different
Mhm.
softwares to do something. So I'd really like to not do Venmo or PayPal. That's just
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
thoughts on it.
Okay.
But isn't Venmo or PayPal just a banking, like it would be, if you got it, if it comes out of one bank account and goes into another, and you probably get a report on that. So it.
Right, but then that's me entering the report
Right.
manually, where Edmonds, it just goes right into the system.
Right. But I'm not thinking that there's going to be hundreds, right in the beginning anyway. We could start with, with a few. I don't want to
Start with
belabor
like
this,
with
but I
bulk or
like,
something,
you know,
'cause that's
even like you
easy.
say, even with bulk or something like that.
With that.
And with bulk, you have 20 slots. I'm sure we can probably figure out a way of saying
Shut
your
it
slot
down.
number, whatever, and that's it,
And then you shut it off the day before or something, so
Or whatever.
someone cannot go in and
Yeah.
sign up for that day.
But, okay. If you're looking into it, let's continue to look. I just think it's, I don't want to, like you say, belabor it or anything like that, but I like to see something done that's, let's say, more I don't say state of the art, but, timely in the sense where we are. Without spending $1,800 on 130 dog licenses or something like that, which only 20 of them would probably even use that system, so. Just another few things we have is the city cleanup is again April 23rd. I have I have a lot of people that have signed up. I don't have, Brian, I don't have you yet.
He's on my team.
He's on my team already.
Oh, he's on your team.
I drafted him already.
I
It
told
worked
my
out.
team members to call you directly, so
It
you've
worked
got
the
my
whole time.
team
Yeah.
members on
All right.
the list.
I started
already.
last week, Charles. I started cleaning up last week.
Where?
Where have you been?
The Build-A-Bed was a very big success. We made actually 42 beds at the Dome. It was very well attended by a host of different people from both inside the community and outside. So I think that was an excellent program that we worked on, and certainly the residents of especially the kids, will be helpful. We are in the process of developing the parade list. We're working on the parade, so those, we sent out letters or emails to a number of different individuals to be walking in the parade or be involved in the parade. That's good. We've already talked about the leaf and branches legislation that we're working on, right? That's a code type of thing. And the last that I have is pool passes. We have a card now for a pool pass. We're working on the rates and getting the pool passes out to everybody. And we've got a few ideas on how we can, just
Get the word out, and have where
get the
people
word
buy
out
them
and start working on the pools and start getting pools out there. I don't know where we stand yet on lifeguards. I'm not sure. Have you heard? Okay, we haven't heard yet how many lifeguards we have yet. So we need to kind of like button that down a little bit and make sure that we have enough. And that's all I have.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
So I think today might be my last meeting, and I want to just say, in all seriousness, there's been one of the pleasures of my life to serve on this board, on this body, with Councilwoman Diamond and Mayor Petroselli. And I think it's nothing short of amazing what this administration has accomplished in 2 years, considering probably it's the most trying time that any administration has ever had in the history of Watervliet. And I'm excited about my new adventure, but I am really going to miss sitting on this council. I'm going to miss my friendships, seeing you every day, talking to you every day, and all that stuff like that. So I appreciate everybody in this room. Thank you for your cooperation, and thank you for your friendship. And I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Oh, it's very nice of you, Bob.
Thank
It's
you.
been a pleasure.
From my perspective, it's been fantastic getting to reacquainted with you after all those years of being away from each other. But I think you have a unique opportunity in the sense that you've now spent a couple of years on the council. You see how the inner workings of the city happen, and I think you could make a big difference on the court when it comes to the codes and the things that we talk about on a day-to-day basis here. What are we doing here and what are we doing there? I think you could make, when someone appears before you, you can hopefully make a difference there. So I wish you all the luck on that.
Thank you.
Absolutely, I agree. Well,
Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
After that, I'm going to make a motion to adjourn.
Well, no, we have to do public comment.
Oh, no. Oh, I thought we were done.
We have to do the public comment
I'm
period,
done.
just officially, not that we have public comment. We'll open up the public comment, so Dave, if you'd like.
At this time, the council has approved the public comment period. If you wish to address the council, please step forward, state your name and address, and you'll have 2 minutes to speak on any items you so choose.
Okay, if there are no comments to be made, I'll close the public comment period. Okay. And before you go, Pete, I have something from Barb and I.
Oh, no.
It's a bill.
It'll be paid by Venmo, too.
Oh,
Oh, that is sweet.
This
Oh, that
is,
is really nice. Oh, that
this
is
is just something
fantastic.
from Barb and I to be able to give you, say,
I like the
just a
other
little
offer, Barb. That
bit,
is
just a little thank you
fantastic.
for everything.
Thank
I
you very much.
appreciate it.
Thanks,
All right,
Mayor.
good luck to
Thank
you.
so much.
Well,
All
there's
right.
a little
Barb, thank you.
bottle
Oh,
of
my
something
gosh,
that
I'll
you
take
crack open on the
it.
first
I will
day.
take that. I'll wait till I get home before I open it, okay?
And Pete?
Yep.
Okay, this is,
I would love that.
we're going to put this on here so you can take this with
I would
you.
love that.
Not the holder, but the plate.
We'll charge you for the holder.
We need the holder for the next one.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Well, it's
I'm
been
going to
a
wear this
pleasure.
with pride.
That is nice.
Absolutely wear that with pride. That is fantastic.
Excellent.
That's
Yep.
really nice.
Really
Good.
nice.
Yes.
Yeah, really nice.
Good.
Thank you.
Wicked smart.
Really?
Wicked smart, there's a plug for Wicked
Yeah.
Is
Smart.
that on the
I love it.
clothing line?
That's what I asked.
You know, I don't know.
have to-
I don't know if it is or isn't.
I'm going to wear that tomorrow to work.
I just did,
Oh, good.
I'll wear that.
Yeah.
absolutely.
all right.
I would like to make the motion to adjourn, though. Are we ready?
Well, wait.
No, when I said when we're ready.
Yep.
Oh, wait, okay.
The next meeting will be April 21st. Peter, you'll be off the council at that time,
Yes.
at which time we'll be, going out to the residents, see if anybody is interested to take your spot, and we wish you the best.
Thank you so much.
All right?
Yes, congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very
Good luck
much.
to you.
Thank you for everything. Appreciate it. Really
Yes.
appreciate it.
Okay.
Thanks for everything.
All right. So,
I will make a motion to adjourn.
And I will second it.
okay, clerk call the roll.
Councilwoman Diamond,
Favor?
Mayor Petroselli,
In favor.
and for the last time, Councilman Torrance.
In favor, thank you. In
All right.
favor.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank
I gotta